Let's go ahead and get started. Hello and welcome to today's GoDaddy Small Business Webinar. My name is Deanna Furlong, and this is a bi-monthly series of webinars that have been specifically designed for our small to medium-sized business customers, focusing on topics that are hopefully important to you and the technology tools that you can use to become more efficient, more productive, and keep your business humming. So today's topic is how to move your business email to Office 365. And I think my partners here would agree that moving yourself to an enterprise-grade solution for email is one of the best ways to grow your business. So let me introduce who's here with me today. Again, my name is Deanna Furlong. I am a GoDaddy customer education advocate. I am a remote employee. I'm working out of my home here in Sonoma, California. I am joined by Marilyn. Marilyn is based in Austin, Texas, also working remotely, and she is our GoDaddy Office 365 product expert and the man of the next 30 minutes to 45 minutes, Mr. Nick Biggs, who is our GoDaddy Office 365 product manager. And Nick is joining us actually today on location from our Scottsdale offices. He's based with his team of experts that help you do your migrations out of the Gilbert, Arizona office, but he is at what we call Tech Fest. So that's our big powwow to gather in Scottsdale and get nerdy. So, which is the truth. Today's webinar, these are the objectives. We're going to cover the core steps in the migration process itself, where we're going to help you along the way, which is pretty much soup to nuts the whole way. And next steps for starting your process, your email immigration, email migration. Your email is not immigrating to GoDaddy, it's migrating. We're getting you on that Office 365 platform.
And we're going to be grilling Nick about this whole process. And so we'd also like you guys to chime in too. So if you guys have any questions about what we're asking Nick, or if you have any questions that pop into mind that you've been thinking about in terms of moving your email over, go ahead and pop those into the Q&A or the chat, and we will try and get them in so that you can get all your questions to Nick right now while we have him.
Yeah, and our goal is, like Mira said, we're answering in real time. So a lot of time, if you don't get a text answer back, it's because we want to read your question and share it with everybody else on the line to get the good information out. Also, at the end of every webinar, I do print out a question and answer report. So if I find anybody hasn't received an answer to their question, I will make sure you get one via email or a call. So let's get started with my favorite. If you've joined us before, you know I am a big fan of trivia. And I thought this one would hopefully get us in the email state of mind. So I'm going to read this out loud for those of us who are only listening in. Can we see the poll here? How many business and consumer emails are sent and received in the world per day? So take a minute, give us your answer. It's just fun, good fun. Get us going, get us talking about email and the power of email. And anywho, so I was talking to somebody the other day about faxing and how that was the only way to communicate digitally. Okay, let's end the polling. Hope you got in there. I am going to share the results. It looks like D. Everybody, like a large portion is going with D. 53%, 250. So I'm going to stop sharing, close out my poll, and 250 to 300 billion. So this was from a study that was very recently conducted in 2017, February of 2017. And it's a Radicati group. So a statistical organization discussing email, what have you. 269 billion emails are sent daily.
That's a massive amount.
That's mind-blowing. Yeah, I'm sure I account for at least half of those. At least the received. I don't know about you guys, but my inbox gets pretty ugly. So yeah, anyways, I thought that was a fun factoid. But let's get on to the real business at hand. Let's talk about the beginning of the process here for migrating your email to Office 365 with GoDaddy. Nick, what can you tell us about this aspect? You know, I know the main thing is you dial in to your group of experts, and they're the ones who help you through the process. And what happens during that?
Yeah, so when you first start the process, you call in and get connected with an account manager. The first thing that they're going to do is they're going to talk about your business with you, kind of determine how you operate. You know, are your employees remote, where they are, just to get a sense of everything that's happening, to make sure that we build the migration around you and how you operate, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be completed. So essentially, they're just going to go over everything with you, find out the key points that they need, and relay that information back. And depends on a couple different things on to how the process is going to move forward from there.
We were joking with Nick is chuckling because when we started shaping this webinar, we were all discussing. You know, Mira and I didn't really know. Well, Mira knew a lot more than I did about the migration process, but I wanted to understand what the customer goes through, because that's what's important to me. I want to understand it from your perspective. And every time I asked a question, Nick said, well, it depends. So
we're going to have an it depends counter.
Yeah, it depends counter. But the reason that is, though, Nick, is because it is such a customized service, right?
Right.
I mean, that's why. So, Mira, there is a question that is up right now. It says,
yeah. So,
for this.
In this sense of you know, the people will call in and speak to this person, their account manager, about how they're going to craft this migration for them. I just wanted to pull in this question we just got asked, which is a pretty custom setup. So, BBICISC has asked, we currently have a server that manages some of our email for the company, and we also have Hotmail accounts that we set up for the employees for use on smartphones. Currently, we have the company email forwarded to the Hotmail accounts for those users that need mobile email. We did this because the company-based server is unreliable for iPhones. I just wanted to bring this up as a prime example of why you should migrate to Office 365, because you won't have to deal with any of those problems. And in speaking to your account manager about these specific use cases that you have, we can make sure that Nick's team can make sure that they're crafting this migration to handle all of these special cases that you have, and they'll be able to get your stuff where it needs to be.
Yeah, and how much simpler would it be to simply have everybody on one single email server in the cloud with your Office 365 solution? So much better than splitting it up between, a local server and Hotmail accounts. And I mean.
And so, Nick, we have a bunch of Office 365 email plans. Which plan would you recommend as best for a migration?
So the two big plans, the best one that I'd recommend for migration is in our Business Premium suite. The Business Premium is going to give you the 50 gig mailbox. It's going to give you the terabyte of OneDrive storage.
Wait, a terabyte?
Yeah.
Sorry, I clearly didn't do my homework. That's a lot.
It is. Yeah, I remember a couple years ago when one Black Friday I was standing in line to buy a hard drive, and it was the biggest hard drive you could buy at the time. It was 80 gigabytes.
Right?
Wow.
Waited in line for like 3 hours, but now you get a terabyte. So yeah, it also comes with the online Office suite as well as the mobile suite, so you can install the Office on your desktop. Beyond that, we also have our premium security bundle, which is the business premium bundled with our encryption and archiving service. It's a great service, and a lot of customers really need those extra features. Within the migration, though, we add those after the fact. So they both will go through the migration, just one has an extra step at the end.
So you mentioned some customers really need that. Can you give us an example of who email archiving and maybe encryption are most suited for? What type of business or customer?
So really, they're suited for any business. There's a lot of different scenarios out there that we could talk about, and we'll probably have a whole webinar series on these too.
And we will. Security and privacy.
Archiving's like a save your bacon type of thing. There's some industries that you have compliancy regulations that you have to meet. So encryption and archiving are absolutely necessary. But
yeah, like SOX, accounting requirements that you have to track.
Yeah, and there's HIPAA, there's FINRA, there's all these other compliancies where sometimes it's just encouraged, sometimes it's a necessity. But like archiving, for instance, is one of those things that regardless of what industry you're in, it's a cover your own butt type of thing. You have an offsite location where this data is editable, it's tamper proof, there's paper trail associated with it.
Yeah.
If you ever deal with any sensitive data,
credit cards,
social numbers, encryption. You can send encrypted data to somebody that nobody else can access except for the person that it's intended to. So that's just a quick high level of what those services do.
Okay.
So let's talk turkey, Nick. How much is the business premium per user per month?
The business premium package, we do currently have a sale price for the business premium starting at $9.99 a month per user.
Wow.
Yep. And the premium security bundle, which is a super great deal right now, is $14.99 per month per user.
Wow, for that, and so that's including the two add-ons that you mentioned, the archiving and the encryption. Yeah,
those alone are typically $5 a piece per month. So you're basically getting your email for $5, your encryption, your archiving for $5.
Wow. Okay. So if you're even thinking about it, now would be a good time, I guess. Take advantage of that. So let's move on. This is not really a step per se in the process. I am, again, like I was explaining before, I would really like to understand this, and I try to understand these topics that I share with you from your perspective as a customer. And I think part of that is understanding what's going on in a migration, and I also know that there are a few people on these calls that are in the role of a system administrator for a small business, and I'm sure they might want a little bit more technical information. Maybe they don't, but I want to understand what's going on. And so I put this in as a step, and it's just familiarizing yourself with the process. So can you describe for us, Nick, what type of migrations we do and, what's kind of happening?
So the type of migration program that we follow is a cutover migration. And for anybody that's not familiar with that, essentially what it is there's a predetermined date in time that you will stop using your current email and start using the Office 365. So you have full continuity all the way through. You don't ever stop using your email. Once cutover happens, you're just on a new platform. Your email never goes down. You just change service. And the way that we do the migration is we actually do two different sides of it to simplify the process. We connect directly to the server. So we'll connect directly to your existing mail server, and we'll pull the data over. So we get all of your mail and the folder structure and everything. And depending on the type of service you have, We may even get contacts and calendars with it as well.
Okay. I'm just going to interrupt you really quick, Nick. We have a good question that's right on topic. Nick is asking or mentioning that they currently have a on-premise Exchange server.
And they don't have an on-premise Exchange.
Oh, they don't? I'm sorry, I apologize. You're correct. Do not have an on-premise Exchange server, and they host through someone else. I'm pretty sure I want to do a cutover migration, and I have 16 users. My question is, after I back up my users' inboxes, is the actual cutover just switching DNS records at GoDaddy?
Okay, so I'll answer the last part first. So the cutover itself is when you switch your DNS. That's the action that's taken to switch you over. But you don't have to do anything to back up your users. We do all of that for you. So
Awesome.
we'll connect to the server. We'll move the data over that's on the server, and then we also deploy a program called SCOA. It's basically for Windows users in Outlook. It goes onto the end user's machines. It takes a copy of their localized data and it sets it up into a new profile with all of your Office settings. So when that cutover happens, you don't have to do anything. Your computer just automatically updates. You're back on your Outlook, and you're continuing with everything that was there before.
That's awesome. So, gosh, we're getting good questions. I'm really excited. So we're trying to answer them live. One of the, and I'll defer to Nick if some of these do require more technical responses. We may have him reach back out to you via email and give you the answer. I'm being asked about a switch from a Google service we have. I know I talked to you about this. I'm not clear on what Google service you do have, but I know Nick did explain to me that migration is really for a domain-based email. So you're moving from whatever you currently have at GoDaddy.com or at mybusiness.com, and you're moving that off to an Office 365 solution. So this isn't about moving you from a free mail to your Office 365 solution. This is from domain-based to a better domain-based solution.
That's a good point. Google does offer two different services. Actually, it's a multitude of different services. So there's Gmail, which is your free at Gmail. There's a free Google G Suite version, and then there's also Google Apps, the full-blown paid version, which I'm assuming is what the question's regarding to, and why you would want to move from there to Office 365. I mean, at the end of the day, Google does some really cool stuff. At the core of things, your system is an IMAP system, and it tries to do a lot of things that Exchange does. But one of the big things with Office is you get your full integration into all of the desktop software, all of the storage, and that's an industry standard across organizations worldwide. One of our last webinars was about, I don't remember what the number was, but it was, what was it, like
1.2 billion.
1.2 billion users of Office. I mean, that's a huge number.
Yeah.
That's the biggest reason people come over from Google Apps to Office 365.
Yeah, it's the gold standard.
I think I said there is something comforting about getting a document that has the standard, .doc, the .ppt, because then I don't have to find what application would you like to open this document with.
Right. Do I have to create an account to see it or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
something like that. It's just a better solution. The other thing I will say too is that the Office 365 calendaring aspect is just so much better than you can get with any free mail. I mean, it's just amazing, and the shared calendar aspect and much better. So those are things, you'll have to do your own comparison, but obviously we're Office 365 super fans here.
So Nick, you mentioned that as part of the migration process, they get to pick that point of the cutover, that they get to pick what that day and time is. Do you have any best practices you can share? When is the best time for me to pick for my cutover date?
It depends.
Aha!
So it really does. The service is tailored to you, and your schedule is what it depends upon. We do see most of the time where customers will cut over either in the morning before office hours or in the evening after office hours. Those are the more common. But pretty much you can choose just about any time that works for you. And you're scheduling it, we typically start at 7 days out. That gives us ample time to make sure that we get everybody's data and everybody is ready to go. So typically it's 7 days. You can schedule it a little bit sooner if it's necessary, or farther out in the future if that's what works for you. But at the end of the day, it's up to you.
Awesome.
And so this is a little bit of a jump ahead in our plan for the webinar, but we just got 2 questions about it. So I want to, along with picking that day and time. So that's the cutover day and time. At that point, let's say that all my employees are using Outlook on their desktops. What do they have to do at that point when that day and time comes for the cutover?
So just to clarify, that means you're on hosted Exchange versus moving to the Office 365 cloud solution, right?
You could be on hosted Exchange. You could be on any sort of time map.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
The experience is the same, and that's where the magic really is. It shows is you get a little reminder like 10 minutes before it's going to happen, just reminding you, hey, we're gonna cut over in a minute. And basically, if you have Outlook open, it kind of looks like it flashes at you, and then you're back to what you're doing. You don't have to set it up. You use our software, install it on the local machine, and it does all of it for you, sets it all up preemptively, and then goes to sleep. And then once that cutover happens, it wakes up, cuts you over, and you just continue with your day.
So all my employees who are on Outlook, they'll get a notice a day before, 2 days before, or sometime before that cutover?
Yeah, so you'll get the initial emails will start coming out pretty much right after you start the migration process. So all of your employees will get an email. They'll plug in their current credentials. They'll plug in their Office 365 credentials, and the program will, at that point, just go to sleep. And then before cutover, there's an 8-hour reminder, and then there's I want to say an 8-minute. It might be 10 minutes. We've changed the time recently. It's either 8 or 10 minutes.
A few minutes.
You get a little pop-up from it. It will pop up on the screen and let you know that it's going to happen soon.
So same on Macs then?
No, not on Mac. It's only for Windows computers using Outlook for the software. We'll still migrate the data from the server, just with Macs and also with phones and tablets, because we don't have any automated software on those currently. You'll have to just basically remove the email and re-add it after cutover. It's as simple as typing in your email and password, and it just sets itself back up.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, we're trying to answer questions real time. I do apologize. We stepped on your response, Nick, about the second plan that we offer at GoDaddy. That was the premium security package, and you would just want to explain the difference between that business premium and the premium security package.
So the business premiums are standard tier for businesses. It's your 50 gig mailbox. It's your terabyte OneDrive storage. You get all the online applications, but as well as the desktop applications that you can install on your computer. And then the premium security bundle is that plus our encryption and archiving package.
Okay, so the only real difference is the add-ons, the encryption and archiving add-ons. Okay, sorry about that, guys. This is a great question too. I think we're gonna get lost in our deck here, but that's okay, because this is what's important, getting these questions answered. Chris is asking, what's the difference between Office 365 and hosted Exchange?
So, I mean, at the core of email, it's the same. So hosted Exchange and Office 365, they're both Exchange platforms. Office 365 is the new generation of hosted Exchange. Basically, everything's cloud-based now. All of your data, you get the extra of having a OneDrive, you get the online applications, you get the desktop applications. These are all part of your service now, whereas Exchange used to be either you had to set up an on-premise or you had to go off and buy it from somebody else. And you just had an email, and that's all that you had. And anything else that you wanted, you had to piecemeal together. Office 365 brings it all to you at once.
Awesome. Okay. So hopefully that addressed a good question there. This is actually a really good question too. I have employees who need security. I'm assuming like premium security add-ons like archiving and encryption and a lot of it, but there are several more that don't need it. Can I mix my plans?
So with the encryption and archiving, those are organization-based, which means everybody that has an email at your domain name requires to have those add-ons.
Okay.
Now, you don't necessarily need to have the premium security bundle. We do offer lower tiers if they're smaller users, but they would still need those add-ons.
Okay.
Outside of that, there are a lot of security functionality that's built into Office currently. There is a security and compliance center where you can create your own custom rules depending on what your needs are.
Oh yeah.
There's stuff that you can do.
Right, right. And we are, I mean, we are definitely going to do more of a deep dive into the privacy and security issues around business data that is traveling over email and being stored in the cloud. That will be later in our series, more toward the summer, but we will talk about what Nick just spoke of, which is the how to create a business rule to address security issues. Again, the questions are fast and furious and flying in.
While we're on security though, Nick is asking Nick, is DLP an add-on?
Let's see. I'm not familiar with the acronym off the top of my head.
I believe it's I can't remember either.
Data loss prevention. Right. So wow, wait, I'm gonna give the quick answer to this. We are gonna have a special webinar that discusses how to create data loss prevention policies in Office 365. Because it's just rules-based and it is so easy because I found all this stuff. This is really exciting to me. It's templatized. So you basically open this up and you define all the parameters in this like step-by-step template, and it's super easy. So yes, it does come with that capability.
But it's not an add-on. It comes.
No, it's part of your solution.
Standard.
Yeah, it's part of that security and compliance center that Nick was talking about. Inside that, there is templates, or you can build your own too from scratch if you want to, on how to set a data loss prevention policy. So yes, woo. Now
so there are a couple of questions that we're getting here about what the plans include, as in how do I access these apps. So someone is asking, or accountant is asking, that these two plans include online and desktop applications. And this means that you actually get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all the apps that come with Office 365. You get them not only through the browser, so you can access them that way, but you can also download copies, up to 5 copies per user, onto your desktop. And so those applications actually come with the plan included in the price, and everything is just standard. So you get those apps. And then someone else is asking about conversion for iPhone users. So I thought that was pretty relevant too, because it's all included. Your iPhone users just have to set up their Office 365 email in either Outlook, which you can download for free on the App Store or in their native mail application if they prefer.
Okay. So, wow. Again, does Office 365 offer virus protection? This came up before when we were talking about the Office 365 cloud solution as a whole, and you had a really good explanation of this for us then. Nick, can you address that now?
Yeah, so it does. In the short answer is yes, it does have it built in. But virus protection can only go so far when we're talking about the cloud, because it's protecting the data that you have stored up in the cloud. It's not doing anything for your local machines. That's still something that you would need to take care of outside of Office.
But you don't have to worry about, one of the benefits of the cloud is that you don't have to worry about any kind of like cross contamination. Like if your computer,
okay, yeah, that was a good point.
Right, it's not going to affect anything in the cloud. You don't have to worry about that barrier between your machines and the cloud.
Okay, good deal. Let me just click through and see. I'm going to skip the poll because we are at time right now, and we're getting so many good questions, and I feel like there's a lot more value out of that than us doing a silly quiz. But hopefully this will make you feel better. I'll go ahead and share out the answer. The question was, how many email migrations does GoDaddy do on average per month? And the answer is 2,000 to 3,000. So you are in good hands. We have this down to a fine science. Nick and his team of experts are all waiting for you to reach out to them so that they can help you through this process. A part of that is creating new email accounts. I do want to answer the questions that we are getting. And I do want to also share with you that we're going to have a second piece of this email migration process, not the next webinar, but the following webinar. I believe, I want to say it's the 17th. But we will discuss all of the fine details around creating new email accounts for your employees and how to get them, push them through the process to make the migration more quick and seamless for you. But again, I'd like to get back to questions. I hope you guys are okay with that. Nick, can you take a look at some of these?
Yeah, let's see.
This one's interesting. Are local user.pst archives included in migration services, or do we have to upload these after the migration is complete?
So yeah, that's a good question. With the localized PST files, so we connect to the server and we pull what's on the server. We'll also connect to the local profile and pull that over. Typically, those PST files are not part of any of that. So any of those that you wanted to have in there, you would have to move and import those files back in after the fact.
Okay.
Those aren't part of the server and they're not part of the local profile.
Okay, good. Okay, that's important to know. Wow, okay. So this person's...
How about this?
I'm sorry, go right ahead, Mira.
No, I was just going to grab another one. That's all.
No, go for it. Go for it.
So this question is about their specific setup. They have an on-premise Exchange, Barracuda spam and virus firewall, Barracuda message archiver, and Zix encryption. Does Office 365 have the same counterparts?
Yeah, basically. Short answer, yes.
Right.
No, with Office 365, the spam and virus, that's all built into Office by itself, so you don't need another provider. Archiving and encryption are included with our premium security bundle, so those services are available as well.
Okay, good deal.
Now, let me ask you a question, Nick. So why would why wouldn't I just want to do my own migration myself?
So basically, when you do your own migration, you take your data into your own hands. The process to do it's a not very complicated process, but it's the things that can go wrong and typically do go wrong. Basically, you have to back up your data, and you have to wait for that to back up. The bigger your mailbox, the longer it takes. Then you have to switch over to a new provider, and then you have to reset up everything, and then you have to import that data. By the time you get to that point of importing your data, you cross your fingers and hope that it backed up everything that it was supposed to do.
Right.
If it doesn't, you have to undo everything that you did, go back and start over. That's why most folks decide to go with our service, is because the manual process, not only is it time consuming, but there's risk of data loss involved. The way that we do it, we connect to the server, we connect to the local machine, we move it all over. We have a team of experts standing by. If for any reason you open up Outlook and you're like, hey, I think I'm missing some data. It could be that it's a new platform and it might not be in the location you anticipated it. So we can determine, is it missing, or maybe it's just somewhere different than you anticipated.
Okay.
If it is missing, we have the ability to go back to the server and find out what we missed and pull it over.
Okay.
So your data is safe, and we take ownership and make sure everything gets done.
Okay. So basically all Outlook folders, contacts, calendars are migrated over on migration day?
Sorry, I was reading one of the questions. Repeat that.
It's a question. It's asking, will all of our Outlook folders, contacts, calendars be migrated over on migration day? Yeah. No?
Well, yeah, so all of the data is moving from the point that we start connecting to the server and start pulling the data. The local data, which is going to be like your calendars and contacts that are in Outlook, those will be activated at the time of cutover. One of the cool things that we do too is once you've cut over, there's a period of time where your DNS has changed. So what that means basically is the routing on the internet has changed. Some servers update faster than others. So it's possible mail gets delivered to your old mail, not your new mail. Well, we're connected to your old mail still. So we're sweeping that data for 48 hours to make sure that everything gets moved over.
Awesome. So you're a safety net.
Yep.
Okay. That's really good to know. The rest of this is really about creating the employee accounts, the information requests that your employee will get to ensure that we can move all of their data over. And I'm going to dive deeper into those with Nick in a future webinar. So let's wrap up on this topic, the migration topic. I think we've covered almost everything. We do have 3 outstanding questions. Let's try, can we try and address these really quick? I know we're 10 minutes over right now. If you can hang on.
All right, let's rapid fire.
I'm sorry?
Let's rapid fire.
Okay. Currently, I have an Office 365 subscription that I have been testing, but I have not yet migrated from our current email provider, Google Apps. Can I switch to GoDaddy? Are there advantages? So yes.
That's what this is all about. Yeah, you can absolutely switch over. And I'm assuming you're probably looking at, you said you have a test account. I'm assuming that's with Microsoft. The biggest reason you're going to want to move over to us as opposed to Microsoft, at the end of the day, it's the same service. You get the same product, but you get our expertise as you can pick up the phone 24 hours a day and talk to somebody in our support staff that's trained with Office and can assist you with your needs. With Microsoft, that's not an offering that they provide.
Right.
You can open a ticket, you can spend a good amount of money opening that ticket, and you'll eventually get your answer.
Well, and that's why we designed these packages, right? I mean, we worked with Microsoft to create a package that is specific to a small to medium-sized business with regard to price point, simplicity, and support. So Yeah, it's not convenient to call in and log a ticket, and why would you if you can call in and get the answer?
Yep.
Our friend Nick is asking a second question around moving from connecting to a server to another server, and basically he wants to know, what if they're currently on a cloud-based server with another company? Is that any different than like an on-premise? Or
no, without getting into the weeds on anything, basically we collect credentials. So you'll get a secured mail. It's going to have a link that gives you to a secured landing page. You'll provide us credentials. We use those credentials and some technology on the back end to connect to the server and pull that data over.
Okay, so basically same diff.
Yep.
Okay, so we are going to, oh wait, hold on. I think I'm gonna, do you want to take these? I mean, if there are people still on, there are still quite a few people on that are hanging in there, and I want everyone to get their question answered, and I think a lot of these are questions that other people probably have and maybe they can't.
Sure.
Here's the best one. Who do I talk to get more technical details and pricing information? Who is that?
Why don't you throw that slide up while you do that?
Let's do that. You are going to contact Nick's fearless team of experts. And this is not the best slide, but basically this number is dedicated to you. It's for moving a small business to Office 365. These people are here to escort you through the process. It's this number right here, 480-463-8341. And that gets you right to the experts, the people who know the process in and out, those account type managers who will help you choose the package, who will talk to you about tech specs and get you up and running in the migration process. Let's see.
So Thomas has a question. Looks like Thomas has our unlimited business email. So you're using our workspace email. Office 365 is not necessarily a replacement for that, kind of like an upgrade from that. So the unlimited business email is just email, whereas the Office 365 is your whole suite of Exchange class email. So you're going to synchronize your mail, your contacts, your calendars across all your devices. You're going to get the ability to use online storage. You're going to get the ability to collaborate with other members of your organization live within documents. And a multitude of other things that our account managers can go over with you. But the transition from our internal to Office 365 is seamless.
Awesome. Okay. Mira.
Yes, ma'am.
Want to take some of these?
Yeah. This
still
service
flying.
that Nick is mentioning, the 24/7 access and is speaking to the experts, that's all the time. That's not just through the migration. That is, I mean, Nick, it's after migration, right? That people can call and get all the help they need, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you have your service with us, we're going to help you.
Right. We're not going to abandon you. Not going to migrate you over and say, you're on your own. Just kidding. Yeah, they're there all the time. And they're experts in, not only are they experts in Office 365, they're experts in our solution. So especially if you did those add-ons like the encryption and archiving, they're going to know those in depth as well and help you before. Oh, this is a good question. Should I have the Office 365 licenses in place before calling for migration services?
That would be I mean, you absolutely can. It's best to talk to your account manager first to make sure that everything's being built around your needs, so you're getting the right plans and the right migration service.
Yeah, so I think honestly the best path, it sounds like, from a customer perspective, to make sure you're getting exactly what you need, nothing more, nothing less, is to call into that expert line where Nick's team can help you determine how many licenses do you need, you know, mailboxes, what have you. You know, use them, call them and use their expertise to help you through the process. They're there, again, 24/7. I feel like we're saying that a lot, but they are always there. So if you got some spare time on the weekend, give them a ring and they can chat with you about it.
And this, just to check, Nick, this migration service is only for moving to Office 365 from GoDaddy, correct? So if I was going to move to Office 365 from some other vendor, you wouldn't be able to use our migration service.
Right. It's only to our Office 365. If you have Office 365 from another vendor, we can move you over still.
Okay. And I did have people looking for a little more information on that premium security plan. Again, I hate to push this off or out, but we are going to do a deep dive into security and privacy for data later in the series. I will attach to our follow-up, I'm going to attach some more details about the premium security package and the archiving and encryption add-ons, just so you can get an idea about it. But I do hope you guys will join us for that. Those of you who are interested in the premium security package will join us later on when we talk in more depth about how to use them and get the most out of them. So we have a pricing question. So this is back to Nick. Does the pricing remain forever, or is it subject to increase?
You know, the pricing is always subject to change. Our marketing team has set this price as our current offerings. I don't know when they're going to change. It could be a month from now. It could be an hour from now. They don't tell us. They just surprise us and say, hey, it's changed. So unfortunately, I don't have a good answer to that, but it is something that is currently available. I don't know when it will not be available anymore. So
Okay.
if you're interested, I'd say talk to one of our account managers. If the pricing is good for you, get it locked down. If you can wait, then wait. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind too about our GoDaddy's Office 365 packages are that they're really competitively priced. You and we do a lot of research around that. You will be hard pressed to find a better price on a package, an Office 365 package. So come to talk to us first, and then if you want to, poke around and learn more about it, that's fine. But it's going to be hard to beat our price. I'm just going to say that. We're going to wrap up. So happy everybody had so many great questions today. We got a lot answered. We hope your question was answered. Our next webinar is June 7th. And we are going to discuss, this is our overview webinar around moving your business into the cloud and what's involved with that, what types of benefits you can realize by moving to the cloud. Just a really good all-purpose webinar. Again, we'll show you some of the features, we'll demo inside the application. Nick and Mira will be back with me to answer more of your technical questions. I am going to send out a follow-up thank you email to this webinar. It will include a couple of links. I have just a checklist around the steps of the process that you might find handy when thinking about your migration. And I'm also going to send out the recording and some more details around the package specifics, because a few people did ask for more details, and sometimes it is helpful to see it in writing. So that's it for Nick and Mira, and we'll see you later. Hopefully we'll see you on June 7th. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.